and welcome back to another bullet journal video. Today is my January flip through. I really like this cover page that I started with. I saw a lot of really pretty circular star designs on Pinterest, and so I decided to blend together a couple of those ideas that I had for this, and then just a quick month at a glance calendar at the bottom of the page. Now we have my month at a glance spread. This was inspired by what I saw on Amanda H. Lee's YouTube, because I really like the idea of each day having an individual box. So I decided to take up more of the double spread with the actual calendar this time, and I really like how it's turned out. Then got my goals at the top, linking to my goals spread from my 2018 setup. I'll link in the description. And then I've got my exercise written down the side, and I tick every time I do it, followed by my to-do list. I use my Stabilo fineliner in purple for the lettering on my goals, exercise and to do, and then I use the Tombow brush pen in 673 for the brush lettering for the title of January, as well as colouring in each of the dates in each of the squares. I drew all the boxes for my monthly spread in my Staedtler black fineliner, as well as the titles at the top for each day of the week. I also have been really enjoying my Staedtler pigment liner in 0.1 recently, and I used this one to fill in each of the boxes, and as you can see it's got a really fine nib there. I used the Tombow for the brush lettering, and I really like how it is to draw with. The brush tip is really easy to do the lettering with, and given that I'm a total beginner, that's really helpful. And then I just use this thinner end of the brush to edge each of the boxes in a slight drop shadow. This is my monthly budgeting and wish list spread. Each of the circles you colour in as you spend the total of your budget, which is in the middle of the circle. I've split mine into the 4 areas, and then I'll have the amount I've managed to put into savings at the end of the month. On the right hand side is my wish list, and every time I decide I want something, I jot it on my wish list, and then what I don't spend I can put into my savings. I did the whole of the title for my wish list in the Stabilo fineliner. It can take a toll on the end of the fineliner a little bit, but I really wanted a stronger colour, so I thought I'd sacrifice my pen nib for this one. And for filling in my wish list, again I used my Staedtler pigment liner in 0.1. This spread I think I'm the most proud of out of all of my spreads this month, and it is my tracker page. I've chosen this month to go with a habit tracker, a sleep tracker and a mood tracker. I hadn't been tracking my sleep very regularly towards the end of last year, and I think it's actually really helpful so I know what's going on in terms of my sleep pattern. I colour in my mood tracker using my Faber-Castell colouring pencils, and that pale lilac for most of them, and then also for my mood tracker I use the darker purple pencil as well, and for the extra colours in the key just down there on the right, I've also sort of supplemented it with 3 more colouring pencils that I got in a multi-pack from, I think it was W.H. Smith. I really like having these separate habits in separate boxes to colour in. I think it's a lot easier than doing a graph, and I prefer how it looks, so I think this is something I will definitely be keeping up next month. I use the same pen colours as I have done through all of these spreads as well. And here is my weekly spread. I fill in the gap on my weekly spread with watercolours that I've really enjoyed playing with at the moment, and I copied this quote from Pinterest. I did the lettering in this Pilot G1 Silver in 0.7, which is quite a nice thickness for writing in. It's a gel pen, but you sometimes do have to go over the lettering, which is just worth bearing in mind if you're using it yourself. I've then got each of my days of the week, and then I've written in those in, again, the Staedtler pigment liner in 0.1 to fill in for each box. I've also added to my weekly spread a what I'm reading, and I've drawn a little book as well as some headphones because I read as well as audiobooks. I've then got a goal focus which links back to my overview of the month and my to-do list. And here's a blank weekly spread that I've got ready for next week that I'll fill with some art. I've also just forgotten to colour in that week on the month at a glance in the bottom corner, so I'll just do that now. I highlight each of the weeks in the Tombow dual brush pen and just colour in along the week that I'm using. I also use the brush pen to underline each of the headings in each of the individual boxes on my weekly spread to give a little splash of colour to what is otherwise a very plain spread. I've got a blank page there for my next full weekly spread. Then I've got a post-it reminding me that there's only a 3-day week at the end of January before we move to February, and then I've got my gratitude log, which again I did in the Tombow, and again it's so easy to do the lettering with this brush nib. I can really recommend using them. I did have to go over the lettering twice for this one though to get the strength of the colour that I wanted. And then I'm just freehanding my gratitude log down the whole of this page, and hopefully that page will be full by the end of the month of all the things that I'm grateful for. And that is my January flip through. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing the spreads that I've used this month, and I'd really like to know what spreads you've got as well, so comment below or tag me over on Instagram where I've been sharing some of my January spreads. Bye!